Hi, this is Chris Germany, apartment dealer. And as we prepare for our upcoming apartment owners educational webinar, we have been sitting with each of the speakers involved. And today we have Mr. Mike Brennan. Now, I'm sure the name is familiar to you. He is a eviction attorney extraordinaire, especially representing landlords like yourself here in Southern California. And we wanted to bring Mike in to see what is, given all the recent changes, especially within the world of evictions, what does he feel that you need to know as a landlord? What's most concerning to him? What's on his mind as he's assisting his personal clients? And just to give you a flavor of what you can expect, what type of information you can expect to receive at our upcoming webinar. Now, be sure to click the link below, go to our landing page, register for our upcoming event. If you've attended any of our events, or if you haven't, just know that there is a ton of information that we share. And it's just that, it's all information. There's no sales pitch. There's no strings attached. It's my way to ensure you, the landlords, are informed what has changed, even within the last 6 months in terms of real estate law, real estate taxation, what or how are the markets trending when it comes to both the financial markets and the real estate markets. We have all the individuals in-house to address those topics. And again, this is the type of information that will help you build your financial legacy in multifamily investments. But now help me welcome Mr. Mike Brennan. So Mr. Brennan, thank you for being with us.
Oh, you're very welcome, Chris. Thank you for inviting me.
So I'm on this Zoom tour, if you will, sitting with each of the speakers, the participants of our upcoming educational webinar, to pose two questions. The first question is, we were just together less than 6 months ago at our last educational webinar. And even in that short amount of time, a lot of things have transpired within the apartment world, within the economy, politics, and so forth. But what has changed over the last, or since our last webinar, that you plan to discuss at our upcoming webinar that landlords need to be cognizant of?
Well, from a landlord attorney's perspective, what's changing and what's probably most important for your clients is the interaction or the overlay of AB 832 onto SB 91 and AB 3088, and how it actually interacts with the local moratoriums.
Sure. And so just to be clear, just because the eviction moratorium went away, we are nowhere near back to how things were pre-COVID. I mean, there's a new set of rules.
Well, it's interesting that you would have phrased it that way, because that's a misnomer. The eviction moratoriums have not expired. They have not gone away. They are still in place. AB 832 is just an overlay on top of those, and it comes up with new requirements, new forms, new documents, new protections. What I will say is that it is a step in the right direction, but you still have to understand all those prior laws and how they all play together in order to properly prepare for and navigate this upcoming year.
Well, and I know that's why the landlords enjoy having you with us, because again, you keep them up to speed on all these various changes, and even simple things like the forms to use have now changed. And so, landlords need to be aware. Okay, second question. And so I don't mean to take you down a rabbit hole, but this is a little bit more broad. And I ask it in this way: what has Mr. Brennan up late at night, tossing on his pillow, has him concerned that all landlords should be concerned, whether it, again, comes back to real estate law, it comes to what's going on in the nation as a whole? What's most concerning to you that you feel that landlords should be paying attention to?
In the landlord industry, what concerns me the most is it looks like we're taking steps in the right direction with AB 832, the new law. But, there's the political theater concerns me quite a bit. There's still a lot of, from both sides, combative issues, I'll say. The economy concerns me greatly, because my concern for landlords is if the economy goes in the direction that I'm concerned about, and we start to see higher rates of inflation, or if COVID goes in the direction that I'm concerned about, I'm concerned that they will take a step backwards and start moving back to the moratoriums and making the landlords shoulder that entire burden as they have for the last 18 months.
And probably if that were to play out again, there won't be as much government intervention in terms of the financial help that landlords have seen the last few months. that may not be there essentially as funds would have been depleted. So that's a scary scenario.
Well, as far as the depleted funds go, it's interesting you'd say that, because just yesterday I saw something that said California may end up having to repay to the federal government something like $380 million out of those funds because it's not dispersing those funds fast enough. There was a deadline; it had to disperse all of those funds. It hasn't passed yet, but it's coming up. So yeah, I agree with you. If we go in the direction that I'm concerned about, I think the government will use that as a reason to step in and say, hey, look, we're not out of the woods. The tenants still require protections. Oh, and by the way, we don't have that money anymore to, fund $5.6 billion, for the tenants. So where will that leave landlords? And I don't know.
Very interesting, very interesting world in which we find ourselves all around, but specifically as landlords. So, and I know you're out there fighting the good fight, and so we appreciate your participation. We look forward to you being with us coming up here at our next webinar, and thank you for your time.
Sure, I really look forward to it as well, Chris. Thank you very much.